Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, it's always a pleasure when we get to meet a new vendor with something really interesting to talk about. That's what we're getting to do today. We have Gordon Daly of BoxCast here to talk to us. He has, about new to me anyway, a new live streaming service, and I want to learn more about it and who it's targeted for and what uses it can be put to. We'll get to that right after this. This edition of MacVoices is brought to you by Blue Apron. Blue Apron delivers fresh ingredients and recipes to your door so you can cook something new and interesting tonight. Check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals free with free shipping by visiting blueapron.com/MacVoices. Blue Apron, a better way to cook. Gordon, welcome to MacVoices. It's great to have you. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
Hi, Chuck.
So BoxCast, as I said, I know this is a live streaming service, but it looks like you have some very interesting target markets, judging by your website. What exactly is BoxCast?
BoxCast is just a really great way to make it for anybody that doesn't know anything about technology to get their video out. So it's a combination of hardware, in that we make our own BoxCast encoders, and software to do the streaming, to provide the complete end-to-end solution for any small, medium-sized organization.
Okay, so what I see on the website, of course, is some obvious things. Appears to be lectures, church services, but then there are live sports. There appear to be concerts, that kind of thing. Is there any? I don't want to say are there any limitations, but who is this best suited for?
It's really best suited for those that always wanted to try to stream and maybe even dabble just a little bit with some of the free social services, but then realize that they wanted more for their brand or the organization. So at BoxCast, we've been very careful to try to make sure we can figure out how can we most reliably for your brand get the best quality out on a consistent basis, and do it in a way that it just always just happens automatically.
Okay, so let's go the whole way out, and then we'll work our way back. If I am a BoxCast, if I want to watch a BoxCast broadcast or webcast or whatever the term you use is, what am I doing it in? Am I doing it in a browser? Am I doing it in client software, or are you sending out to like Facebook Live and YouTube Live?
It's really yes to all. And that's actually one of the things that are a limitation with some of the streaming services that are out there now. And that if you stream on Facebook, you're only going to be able to reach the Facebook audience. So with BoxCast, what most of our customers do is they make their video available first and foremost live on their own website. So we can just do a little simple embed inside of their site, but at the same time, we can also simulcast that onto other social networks as well.
So you can send to all those audiences at the same time?
That's right. And with BoxCast, it really scales to any size audience. So it can be anywhere from a Little League baseball game to a major sports broadcast, and that we can handle the size of any audience, big or small. Okay,
that's great. All right, so now let's start working our way back to the production stuff. You showed us the little box, and I have to admire you for digging in and doing anything hardware-based, because that I know there are a lot of advantages, but it also creates a lot of challenges. Tell us about that, what its capabilities are and what its requirements are.
Sure. So we do have iOS apps to make it easy to stream from a phone. We also have an iPad mixing app that lets you produce something more carefully. But what we find is that most events that happen that are really special events, meaningful events, whether it's a church service or a wedding ceremony or a funeral, or it can be a sporting event, there's already a camera at those events. And so what we do is we actually make our own custom hardware to make it so that you can plug whatever video and audio and even scoreboards are there at the event into this, and there's no buttons or switches. And so automatically then that video is compressed, sent up to our servers to be transcoded for any size display on any device or any network speed, scaled out for any size audience all over the world, in the best quality that those viewers can see. So it's kind of the easiest way to make it work without having to know anything about video streaming at all.
Okay, this sounds scary easy. Is it really scary easy?
Well, that's why 95% of these events aren't streaming, even today. With all the streaming technology that's at our disposal, They're not doing it. And so that's what was the challenge to us, is to figure out, well, what is it that's really preventing people from doing this? Because you're a very computer savvy tech guy that can understand, hey, I can make this work with software. I can use a computer. The reality is that you really can't make it simple enough in order to make it possible for these brands to want to do it consistently and reliably, because unless it's fully automated, they're just not going to do it. And they're afraid of something going wrong. So some organizations that we have will pay us to do the streams for them, and then others will choose to charge their viewers to pay to watch streams. So 60% of our sports customers just pick a ticket price, and we'll handle all of the ticket processing and the support calls, and then just split a check with them on what comes in.
So that's a great question. So you have the ability to do pay-per-view kind of things?
That's right. So that's one of the things that these organizations realize that they want to do, is that I have value in the content I'm producing. Instead of trying to find 10,000 viewers to put on YouTube to get $6 in proceeds from the ad generators, I mean, we'll have some organizations that have 5 and 6 digits of money coming in from some of the events that they host. And it's just a fraction of the number of viewers, but when they're willing to pay, there's a lot more money to go around. That's what happens when your content is that valuable to people that really wish they could be there. And the other thing is, a lot of these events that we stream actually have a face value for the tickets when people come to the event. So it's very, very understandable for the brand to say, hey, I'm not losing money. I'm getting actually a bigger audience that's further away than just in my backyard.
Okay, so you're talking about cameras that are already at the event. Are we talking about commercial video cameras, or are we talking about the prosumer stuff, or what kind of devices can plug into this and still give a good product? Sure.
Well, this is an HDMI product, so it can accept anything up to 1080p 60 that goes into it, and the most it can stream out is 1080p 30. And that's why we need to have the cloud transcoding, because not everybody's network connection or device can play 1080p video. But it also has analog inputs. It even has, there are some people out there, some of these organizations that have just an SD camera, and there was a time when we used to make separate devices, and it's almost laughable these days to have it. But we put it in there because we never know what kind of camera that these organizations might have. So it's coming in true digital quality. So if you have great cameras, there's no loss. And even if you've got SDI set up, you just send your program output into a Blackmagic converter or a decimator, and off you're running streaming without really having to do anything but schedule your broadcast so that they can show up on your website.
Okay, so obviously you're taking the video in to the converter. That's great. Now, what kind of bandwidth do I need to connect this to make sure that I'm delivering a good stream?
So the minimum bandwidth that we'll stream is just 300K, but it's not a very good picture for that.
Right.
And that's typically, Periscope is 600K, I think now. So ours goes up to about 6 megs at the max, depending on the circumstances. Most of the broadcasts might end up being around 5. But it just depends on what your uplink speeds are capable of.
Okay. Do you have a recommended minimum uplink speed that you prefer to be able to deliver the best product possible?
Well, if you want the best product possible, you'll have a good solid 10 megabytes up, so that you have more than enough space to reliably and consistently get 5 megs out. So I mean, that's one of the things that I'll also call to your attention, is that in order for this just to always work for people, while we do take our TMP inputs into our streaming service to stream that out if necessary, most of our customers prefer the boxes, because we can do special protocols that can handle and weather the network disruptions that might happen in order to make that broadcast happen more reliably with better quality. And you only need to stream a third of the bandwidth too. That's the beautiful thing with BoxCast. You don't have to stream all the different sizes in order to support the viewers to see the adaptive bitrate on the other side. You just send one single best quality, and it's great hardware compression inside the box. It's for the technology crowd out there. It's high profile 4.2, 1080p 30, and then we kind of handle the rest so that viewers can see it. So it's the better the quality is, most often the better the network protocol, the more bandwidth you have. But like I said, we do some special things when it's our encoders talking to our servers.
So we're using your servers as a CDN then. We're not providing our own or whatever. That everything is going to your servers and then being distributed.
That's the beauty of it. It's all one-stop shop, really simple to understand pricing for these organizations. I think all of our plans are unlimited plans, depending on just the markets and the features and functionality that you want to use. So that's what makes it really easy for people to get started. There's no reason not to start and give it a shot.
From your description of this, I think I know the answer to this, but I'll ask. This box or your service does not add production values to it, lower thirds, titles, that kind of thing. This is just strictly a straight streaming service box?
Well, when you start, let's maybe go in 3 phases. Phase 1 is just a box for people just getting started. They already have a camera that may be 5 years old or 10 years old. It just works. If you're a sports customer, you take a picture of your sports console, send it to us, and we'll mail you. You can order a wired or wireless connector so that the box can accept the data from the scoreboard, and it overlays it just like an ESPN broadcast. The clock to the second, the score, the down and to go, whatever the sports metrics are that you want in that scoreboard, it'll automatically put that in there in the cloud for you. So that's a little production value add. It's kind of like a lower third that's dynamic because it's the actual scoreboard, making it a lot more interesting for your viewers to watch. So taking it to the second level, you can, from the iOS app, just do some simple overlays through the app that we have. But we also have an iPad app called BoxCast Switcher. And what it allows you to do is multi-camera switching right from an iPad so that you don't even have to buy the production equipment necessarily in order to, with what you have in your iPad and your iPhones, do a multi-camera mix with overlays and picture-in-picture. The other thing I would add is that most of the time when we're talking with the most sophisticated customers that we have, we just take their production equipment, plug it into our box, and we just take it from there. So they're providing that program output feed from their mixing equipment via a truck, and we just take that into the box and stream it from there.
Okay. So we always get to this point. What kind of cost are we talking about for any of these levels, or the device or the service or any of that?
So the box itself is $4.99, and that's what you'll find it for on our website or on Amazon or anywhere else we sell it. But in addition to that, there's a service fee because that's really the value that people are getting out of the streaming through us, because we're providing that more professional streaming experience. And in order to do that, we just have really simple monthly or annual plans, like most folks, and they start out at just $49 a month. So it's really simple for people to get started. If they're a small organization, they want to try it out, it's quite simple to get going.
Do you have any service available where, say, I have a one-off event and I really don't want to invest $4.99, but I want to stream it? Is there a way for me to rent a box or be loaned a box as part of a package for that event?
There's not a way to do that with us, aside from you just streaming to us like you would stream to other places. And we do accept RTMP ingest, so you can stream from any encoder devices or other equipment that's out there. And maybe you just stream with us for 1 month, because we have plans where they're not any kind of long-term commitments unless you want to try to get a better deal. So you're welcome to try it out for one-time events. But most of the customers that we have find so much value out of it that they try to do it for all the events that they have as time goes on. But it's really easy to get started. And there's no charge for our broadcaster app to stream straight from the phone. Okay.
And for the subscription, am I limited as to how many hours, or is that part of a graduated process or graduated pricing structure?
No. In fact, for a long time, we did charge by the hour, and our website even may show on a pricing page that. But if someone were to call in, we have all of our plans now for everybody where it's not metered. I mean, we've realized we have so many different customers using this now. We understand the characteristics of how much they're using it for. So it's not charged so much by how much you stream. It's more charged by what types of features do you want. Let me give you just one example so you can understand more closely. A business that might be having a town hall meeting that may want to have that town hall meeting streamed to 10 different locations because they got locations all over the world. They don't like having 30, 40, 50 seconds of delay for their streams when people watch it. So we offer a very low latency product that lets them see it in near real time so they can facilitate two-way interaction with people chatting questions through. And we'll charge more for that, but those are the kinds of things that a business would want to have. We also might charge more for how long you want to store your videos for. So there's a whole set of features and functionality that, depending on what kind of organization you are, it's really just a perfect fit for what you're trying to do.
This edition of MacVoices is supported by Blue Apron, the #1 fresh ingredient and recipe delivery service in the country. If you haven't tried Blue Apron yet, why not? Blue Apron makes dinner time a whole lot easier, a whole lot more fun, and a whole lot more delicious. When you sign up for Blue Apron, you get fresh ingredients delivered to your door in exactly the right quantities to prepare the amazing recipes that come with them. There's no waste, no annoying trips to the grocery store, and never a missing ingredient. You make the meals yourself with your family, and that means more together time, something that's often lost in today's world. Best of all, the meals are delicious, since they often help you learn more about the things you didn't know you would enjoy. There are other reasons to like Blue Apron. Each meal is less than $10 per person, making them very affordable. The produce comes from Blue Apron's network of over 150 local farmers that practice regenerative farming. Beef, chicken, and pork all come from responsibly raised animals, and the seafood is sustainably sourced under standards from the Monterey Bay Aquarium Seafood Watch. Finally, if you don't think Blue Apron can get to you, you would be mistaken. They can deliver to over 99% of the continental United States. You can check out this week's menus and sign up for your first 3 meals free with free shipping by visiting blueapron.com/MacVoices. I promise you, you will love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron, so don't wait. That's blueapron.com/MacVoices. Blue Apron, a better way to cook. Thanks to Blue Apron for their support of MacVoices. Now, you snuck something in there that I hadn't really thought about because we've been talking about this being a streaming service. Do you stream and record and save as well?
You know, it's so much more than even that. So we do stream, and then we stream available as a recorded view of the stream afterwards. But while it's happening, you can also pause it at any point in time. So we have live DVR capability built into the product, as well as the ability for you to capture live or after the fact highlight clips that you want to promote to your audience. So we've got beautiful social integration, our social media promotion tools, where you can capture great moments that might be happening in your live streams that help bring and attract more people that want to watch, which just helps you gain your audience as a better and better marketing tool.
Boy, my mind is kind of spinning with all the things you could do with this, and the fact that you can help deliver a pay-per-view service to like a high school football game or soccer game or whatever, to help a booster club out, whether they want to just stream it free or say stream the first half of the game free and then use it as a fundraiser. There's so many options here.
There really are. I have had some high school broadcasts where there's literally 25,000 people watching them. I'm not making that up. We've had tournaments we've hosted for sporting competitions where we've brought in over $50,000 for amateur athletic events that are happening. It can be real money for some of these events where people have really great content and there's people already coming to the event. The other thing I should say is that not all brands want to charge for the content. They just get so much more value out of it. So a lot of the private schools who are getting a lot of money through donations, they love the idea of having a closer intimacy with their alumni that have gone off to live in different states. And this is what allows them to kind of still be a part of the community.
Yeah, and I can see situations where, okay, you're not going to do a $50 ticket, but you do, a $2 ticket or a buck ticket just to help support the team. And people would say, sure, I'll throw that in. That's no problem. That's not a barrier to watching.
Yeah, and we also have donations. So if you want to make it free, but then accept donations, in some audiences, you actually make more money by letting people donate whatever they feel it's worth to them versus charging them. It's really situation by situation to decide how they want to try to get the most out of it. But again, I come back to you don't get that same kind of flexibility by just giving your content away for free on Facebook and then letting your brand be just somebody else's brand in there. What we're finding is that people like this as a way to pull people out of the different social media world into their website so that they have more of a control of the experience and how they're communicating with their audience.
That's something we all struggle with is, trying to figure out, do you go to those websites to help get your audience? Your ultimate goal, obviously, is to have control of that audience and have them on your website so you can deliver whatever your message is. So the fact that you give me the option to do either or all is kind of amazing.
Well, we're just trying to be the perfect solution for these organizations to help them, get their content out, because we really do believe that these are some of the best experiences in life, and we just believe that they all should be made available to everybody, even if they can't be at the event.
Yeah, and the DVR thing, I hadn't even thought about that. Again, I think I came into this biased because you say, okay, we are a live streaming service, and so you're used to logging into Facebook and seeing Facebook Live, but there's no pause or any of that. You just, okay, this is live. And so, yeah, you've really built a very robust system here that I can see why you're kind of targeting the commercial and semi-commercial markets a little more.
And they want higher quality too. I mean, you're limited in the quality you can get from Periscope. You're limited in the quality you can get even from Facebook, unless you have just absolutely massive audiences where they're willing to work with you on an exception basis. So
right.
That's right.
Very interesting. Very interesting. We were talking before the interview. You're going to be at NAB this year?
That's right. We'll be at NAB, and we have some really exciting news that we're going to be touting there, of some really new things that we're coming out with and capabilities that I think is going to be really exciting for folks that we'll be announcing. So I look forward to everybody learning more about us then. I'd love to meet up with you there, Chuck.
Count on it. Count on it. I'm extra intrigued because this sounds like such a complete product, and you have more coming. So yeah, we'll talk.
Sounds great.
Gordon, where do we send folks to find out more about this? Maybe sign up, get their own BoxCast, or find out more about all of your services?
They can just go to our website at boxcast.com. That's BOXCAST. The reason why we originally called it BoxCast was because we made a little box that broadcasted. And now, of course, we do so much more than just from the box, because you can send your video to us any way you want to do it that's easiest. But they can just go to boxcast.com to learn more.
Great. I have to ask, how'd you get into this?
It's a really funny story. So we were working to build computers, special computers from scratch that are used for mission-critical applications like airline control lighting systems and caustic chemical processing. They're things where if they broke, people died, and millions of dollars of equipment or valuables were lost. And we learned in that world that you had to automate things. You had to take the humans out of the equation in order for them to be successful. Well, fast forward just a little bit of time, we were freelancing, and a funeral home said, I'd like you to build us a website. We said, sure, we'd be happy to. And then he said, I want you to also stream our funeral services for us, just like they do in Vegas. Can you automate that? And we said, we're automation experts. Of course we can automate that. But I don't think anybody's going to want to watch a funeral service. He said, no, you don't get it. This is a private thing that the family really wants to be a part of the grieving process and helps people that can't be there mourn. And you don't understand how powerful it is for a grieving family. We said, wow, I mean, that kind of touches us. Sure, we'd be happy to. So we built that for a funeral home. And then we realized, wait a minute, there's a lot of other people that want to be able to do this. So we filed for a bunch of patents. We quit our day job and started to chase after the dream of the live streaming company. And now we've been very, very successful so far. So it's a different path. And I think that different path is why it's part of what set us apart.
Okay, that's one I haven't heard before. Streaming funerals. I didn't even know they did that in Vegas.
They do stream weddings in Vegas, and
right.
We still stream that first funeral home. So they're definitely our longest standing client.
Boy, you talk about an opportunity coming right out of left field at you. Wow.
Well, and that wasn't the first market that we majored in, obviously, but you can understand that same principle applies where people come together and there's people that can't make it and they want to be a part of that experience. And that's what we're trying to change. That's why we have different philosophy of how we position the product and pricing and technology, because we want to enable those organizations to get those experiences out.
Well, that probably is the poster child for if you're doing an event of any kind, there's a benefit to streaming it. I mean, because I don't know. Well, you're in that particular business. I would never have thought of streaming a funeral, and yet you're right. There are plenty of times that you can't get off work, or you're too far out of town, or it's in the middle of the week, and it's just not possible to get there. So, what a wonderful way to include people on both sides, for the grieving family and also for friends and family that can't make it.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Gordon, I thank you so much for the time. This has really been fascinating, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about all the new stuff at NAB.
I can't wait to tell everybody. I just am under very, very strict guidance to be careful what I say about all that new stuff that's exciting.
Yeah, you look like you're just bursting to, but I won't try to get it out of you. So,
Great.
Well, thanks again. I will see you in Vegas.
You got it. Thanks for the opportunity. Take care, Chuck. Bye-bye.
Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices. I've not heard a story like that before. That's a great story, and it's making me rethink a whole lot of things. Until the next time, and as always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes, links to subscribe, and to connect with Chuck on Twitter, Google+, Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, SoundCloud, the MacVoices blog, the MacVoices Dispatch, our weekly newsletter, and on MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard that helps you do more with your Apple tech. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.